Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric. I will be your reader for this week. Today we're going to be reading from Zohar, a portion that covers the various commandments, starting with the first 10. And just checking the chat here. Good, we have lots of people from around North America and even Australia. Hello, Joe from San Diego, Annie from North Carolina, Patricia from Ohio. Hello, Sean from Australia. Mabel here, Mexico. Julie from Salt Lake, Pennsylvania. Carl, great to be with you all. As we know, the Zohar is a very special text, and there's a certain way we need to approach it. It's sent here not so much to teach us things, but rather to develop us in a certain way. So in that vein, let's hear some words from Dr. Michael Laitman about how to open this text and interpret it properly.
2,000 years ago, this is where the Kabbalists used to sit, in a mysterious cave in the Galilee. This is where they've reached a state where they could express themselves, in the Book of Zohar. What did Rajbi and his students find out? Through the force of those 10 friends that could come together in such a way that there was nothing that could separate them. And so the Creator could dwell among them, could reveal himself to them. What is the secret of the Book of Zohar? It's not a book. It's a revelation of the upper force. And therefore, for us, this book is the source of the godly force that is going to correct us and the entire human flaw, and that will elevate us to the purpose of creation. I'm glad that I've been born in such a generation when it is permitted to disclose the wisdom of truth. Yuda Ashlag, Bala Sulam.
Okay, powerful words from Dr. Michael Laitman. You can find this portion. This is at Kabbalahinfo, searching Zohar for all. And over here, table of contents. Down here, we have a section that takes us to the commandments of the Torah, starting with the first commandment. Okay, word of the Zohar, section, the commandments of the Torah, the first commandment. Item 189. The phrase, in the beginning, God created, end quote. This is the very first commandment. This commandment is called the fear of God, and it is called Rashit, meaning beginning. As in, quote, the fear of the Lord is the Rashit, or beginning of wisdom, end quote. It is also written, quote, the fear of the Lord is the Rashit, beginning of knowledge, since fear is called Rashit. Also, it is the gate by which to enter faith, and the whole world exists on this commandment. Why is it written that fear is the beginning of wisdom and that it is the beginning of knowledge? It is because fear is the beginning of every sphira, for no sphira can be obtained if not by first obtaining fear. This is why he says that it is the gate by which to enter faith, as it is impossible to obtain whole faith if not out of fear of God. And by the measure of fear is the measure of installment of faith. For this reason, the whole world exists on this commandment, for the world exists only on the Torah and commandments, as it is written, quote, if not my covenant day and night, I would not put the ordinances of heaven and earth, end quote. And since fear is the beginning and the gate of every commandment, as it is the gate of faith, it follows that the whole world exists on fear, as it is written, quote, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, end quote. With fear, which is called Rashit, in which all the commandments are included, God created the heaven and the earth. And were it not for fear, God would not create a thing. Item 190. Fear is interpreted in three discernments, two of which do not contain a worthy root, and one is the root of fear. There is a person who fears the Creator so that his sons will live and not die, or fears a bodily punishment, or a punishment to one's money. Hence he always fears him, the Creator. It follows that the fear he fears of the Creator is not placed as the root, for his own benefit is the root, and the fear is the result of it. And there is a person who fears the Creator because he fears the punishment of that world and the punishment of hell. Those two kinds of fear of punishment in this world and fear of punishment in the next world, are not the essence of fear and its root. Item 191. Fear means primarily that one should fear one's master because he is great and rules everything, the essence and the root of all the worlds, and all is regarded as nothing before him, as it is written, quote, and all the inhabitants of the earth count as nothing, end quote. He will place his will in that place, which is called fear. There are three manners in the fear of God, only one of which is considered real fear. The first manner, fear of the Creator and keeping his commandments so that his sons may live, and he will be kept from bodily punishment or a punishment to one's money. This is a fear of punishments in this world. Second manner, when fearing punishments of hell as well. Those two are not real fear, for he does not keep the fear because of the commandment of the Creator, but because of his own benefit. It follows that his own benefit is the root, and fear is a derived branch of his own benefit. The third manner, fear, which is the most important, when one fears one's master because he is great and rules over everything, the essence and the root of all the worlds, and everything is considered nothing compared to him, for he is the root from which all the worlds expand. Also, his glory appears over all his deeds, and he rules over everything, because all the worlds he has created, upper and lower, are considered nothing compared to him, for they add nothing to his essence. It was said, quote, and he will place his will in that place, which is called fear, end quote, meaning he will place his heart and desires in that place, which is called fear. He will cling to the fear of the Creator willingly and voluntarily, as is befitting and proper with the King's commandment. Item 192. Rabbi Shimon wept and said, quote, woe if I tell, woe if I do not tell. If I tell, the wicked will know how to serve their master. If I do not tell, the friends will lose that thing, end quote. For where there is holy fear, there is evil fear below, correspondingly, which strikes and beats and slanders. It is a strap with which to lash the wicked, to punish them for their sins. This is why he feared telling, so the wicked would not know how to be rid of the punishment, for their punishment is their purification. By that, he implies that he could not reveal his words in full in this place, so as not to harm the wicked. This is because here he came to disclose how to cling to the tree of life and never touch the tree of death, and only those who have already corrected the discernment of the tree of knowledge of good and evil are worthy of it. But the wicked who have yet to correct the sin of the tree of knowledge of good and evil must not know it, for they first need to toil in all the labors until they correct the sin of the tree of knowledge, as it is written, quote, lest he reached out his hand and took also from the tree of life and ate and lived forever, end quote. After Adam sinned with the tree of knowledge, he was expelled from the Garden of Eden for fear that he would cling to the tree of life and live forever, and the flaw he had caused in the tree of knowledge would forever remain uncorrected. Hence, to not be lost from the righteous, who are worthy of knowing that thing, he disclosed the matter by way of intimation. Item 193. And one who fears the punishment of striking and hatred, that fear of God called fear of God for life, is not on him. Rather, that evil fear is on him, that strap, and not the fear of God. 194. For this reason, the the place called the fear of God is called, quote, the beginning of knowledge, end quote. And this is why this commandment is included here. This is the root and the foundation of all the commandments of the Torah. One who keeps the fear keeps everything, and one who does not keep the fear does not keep the commandments of the Torah, for fear is the gate to everything. The Zohar relates to what is written once as, quote, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and once as, quote, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, end quote. He explained that at the end of the holy fear, called the fear of God for life, there is an evil fear below, which strikes and beats and slanders. And it is a strap to whip the wicked, and its legs go down to death. For one who keeps the commandment of fear, because he is great and rules over everything, clings to the fear of God for life. It is written about those who fear because of the punishment of the strikes, and not because of a commandment, quote, what the wicked fears will come upon him, end quote. This is so because the fear of the end governs over him and strikes him. And in that respect, that the end of the fear is an evil strap to strike the wicked, the high and holy fear is also called by the name, quote, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, end quote. It indicates that one should cling only to her beginning, which is the fear of God for life, and to beware of the first fear, which is the evil strap. By that, the sin of the tree of knowledge is corrected. Let's take a few moments to refresh our intention with another clip from Dr. Michael Laitman.
The Zohar talks only about one individual, which is each and every one of us. And all that seems to us to be outside of us is really inside of us. All that we know from the world around us, the still vegetative, animate, and people around us are all qualities of our soul, and this is how they appear to us as though they are outside. To the extent that a person develops spiritually, the picture of the outside world begins to sort of disappear. This is why our world is called an imaginary world and our reality is referred to as a dream. Within each and every person in the world, doesn't matter who or where, man or woman, whatever nationality or age, doesn't matter. Within each and every one of us, the same forces exist. I have to delve into my own system and study my inner system. And out of the desire to recognize my inner system, I begin to see the Creator's qualities and forces in it. I begin to see Him operating everything within me.
Okay, wise words from Kabbalist. We also have a few new people joining. Good to see you, Mix, Arben from Kosovo, Jonathan from Florida, Mike from San Francisco, welcome. Let's continue with the words of the Zohar, keeping in mind our intention and the words we just heard from Dr. Laitman. Item 195 on the commandment, the first commandment. For this reason, it writes Bereshit, meaning in the beginning, meaning with fear. Quote, God created the heaven and the earth, end quote. For one who breaches this one, breaches all the commandments of the Torah. And the punishment of one who breaches this one is that the evil strap, the evil fear, strikes him. It is as it was written, quote, and the land was tohu vebohu, meaning unformed and void, and darkness over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God, end quote. Those are the four punishments by which to punish the wicked. Item 196. The word tohu is strangulation, as it is written, quote, the line of desolation, end quote, meaning tohu is translated once as desolation and once as the word unformed. And as it is written, quote, a measuring rope. The word bohu means stoning, stones that are sunk in the great deep to punish the wicked. The word darkness is burning, as it is written, quote, and when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, and the mountain was burning with fire, end quote. Darkness, cloud, and mist to high heaven. This is a strong fire over the heads of the wicked to burn them. Those who do not keep the fear of God because of the king's commandments, but for fear of punishment, are caught in the shell of tohu and wonder why they do not understand the thoughts and words of the Creator. This shell is regarded as a strangling rope over one's neck, which stops the air of Kedusha, meaning holiness, for his breath of life. In the first verse, it is written, quote, the line of desolation, end quote. In the second verse, it is written, a measuring line, and one comes and teaches about the other. The meaning of the line of tohu is a measuring line. This is because as the line and the measure of one's bewilderment, so is the measure of the line that the Sitra Achra throws on one's neck and strangles him, as it is written, quote, those who drag iniquity with the cords of falsehood, end quote. Hence, bohu is stoning. Once he has been caught by the Sitra Achra with a rope on his neck, they have the strength to do with him as they please, to stone him, to burn him, or to kill him with a sword. Stoning means that they break his skull through evil desires and evil thoughts and pull him to the great deep to punish him. Darkness is burning, which is over the head of the wicked to burn them, meaning that the Sitra Achra surrounds him with a strong fire that burns away the livelihood of Kedusha, holiness, from them. Item 197. The word spirit is killing by the sword, since the stormy wind, the word wind also means spirit in Hebrew, is a serrated sword that blazes in him, as it is written, quote, and the flaming sword that turned every way, end quote. It is called spirit, and it is a punishment for one who breaks the commandments of the Torah that are written after fear, Bereshit, which is everything. This is so because after Bereshit, fear, it is called, quote, tohu and bohu and darkness and spirit, end quote, which are the punishment of 4 deaths. Henceforth, the rest of the commandments of the Torah. The Sitra Achra sends a stormy wind upon him, which is like a serrated sword, which separates his head from his body and ends his life. This is the punishment for one who breaches the commandments of the Torah that are written after fear, Bereshit, which is everything, meaning that all the commandments in the Torah are included in the first 2 verses, from Bereshit to, quote, and God said, let there be light. The punishment mentioned for one who breaks the commandments of the Torah, which is the 4 deaths implied in tohu, bohu, darkness, and spirit, are written after fear, which is called Bereshit, implied in the words Bereshit, from the beginning. It follows that the first verse is fear, Bereshit, the primary fear for life, and the second verse is the punishment for one who is not adhered to fear, Bereshit. These are everything, for they are the gate to faith in the Creator. It follows that all the commandments in the Torah are included in it. Henceforth, the rest of the commandments in the Torah are from the verse, quote, and God said, let there be light, onward, all detailing the commandment of fear. Okay, we have finished the portion regarding first commandment. Let's move on to the second commandment. We will not be able to make it all with the second commandment, so we'll pick up from the beginning of the second commandment, the next round that I read. This is item 198. The second commandment is a commandment to which the commandment of fear clings and which it never leaves. It is love, that one should love one's master with whole love. And what is whole love? It is a great love, as it is written, quote, walk before me and be whole. The word whole means whole with love. When it is written, quote, and God said, let there be light, it is whole love, which is called great love. And here it is a commandment for one to love one's master properly. This is so because there is conditioned love, which comes because of the good that the Creator has given to him, by which his soul clings to him, the Creator, with heart and soul. And although he is completely adhered to the Creator, it is still considered incomplete love, as it is written, quote, Noah walked with God, end quote. This means that Noah needed support to assist him, because he was supported by all the good that the Creator had bestowed upon him. Abraham, however, did not need support, as it is written, quote, walk before me and be whole. The phrase walk before me means without support, but, quote, before me, even though you do not know if I will come after you to support you. This is whole love, great love, where although I am not giving you anything, your love will still be whole, to adhere to me, the Creator, with all your heart and soul. Item 199. Rabbi Elazar said, quote, my father, I heard the meaning of complete love, end quote. He replied, my son, tell Rabbi Pinhas, for he is at the same degree, end quote. Rabbi Elazar said, quote, great love is whole love, for it is whole on both sides. And were it not complete on both sides, it would not be whole as it should be, end quote. Commentary. He told him to interpret the great love before Rabbi Pinhas because he already obtained the measure of great love as it should be, and he will thoroughly understand what he would say. Whole love is whole on both sides, whether in judgment or in mercy. And even if he, the Creator, takes your soul, your love in the Creator is in complete wholeness, as when he gives you all the bounty in the world. Item 200. The love for the Creator is interpreted on both sides. There is one who loves him because he has wealth, long life, sons around him, rule over his enemies, his ways are firm, and thus he loves him, the Creator. And if it were to the contrary, and the Creator would reverse the fortune upon him with harsh judgment, he would hate the Creator and not love him at all. For this reason, this love is not love that has a foundation, or because the root of his love is based on something. If that something is revoked, the love will be revoked. Item 201. Complete love is love on both sides, whether in judgment or in mercy and successful ways. He will love the Creator even if he takes his soul away from him. This love is complete, for it is on both sides, in mercy and in judgment. Hence the light of the act of creation came out and was then concealed. When it became concealed, the harsh judgment came out, and the two sides, mercy and judgment, were included together, becoming whole. This is proper love for the light that was created in the 6 days of creation in the verse, let there be light, was concealed again, as it is written in the Zohar, quote, let there be light for this world, and let there be light for the next world, end quote. The light from this world was concealed and appears only for the righteous in the next world. Why was it concealed? It is because with the concealing of the light, harsh judgment came out in this world, by which the two sides, judgment and mercy, were integrated, becoming whole. This gave room for the inclusion of the two ends as one. This is so because now it has become possible to disclose the wholeness of his love, even while he takes one's soul away from him. Thus room was given to complement the love in a way that it had not been hidden, that it had not been hidden and the harsh judgment had not been revealed. This great love would have been devoid of the righteous, and it never would have been possible for it to become disclosed. Item 202. Rabbi Shimon took him and kissed him. Rabbi Pinhas came and kissed him and blessed him and said, quote, it must be that the Creator has sent me here. This is the fine light that I was told was integrated in my house, and which afterwards will illuminate the entire world, end quote. Rabbi Elazar replied, quote, certainly this fear must not be forgotten in all the commandments, much less in the commandment of love. Fear should be attached to it, end quote. And how is it attached? Love is good on one side, when he, the Creator, gives him wealth and bounty, long life, sons, and nourishments, and then fear should be evoked, to fear lest he will cause the sin, and his fortune would turn on him. It is written about that, quote, happy is he who is always fearful, end quote, for fear is included in love. Item 203. And thus one should evoke the fear on the other side of harsh judgment. For when one sees that he is under harsh judgment, he should evoke the fear, and fear his master properly, and not harden his heart. It is written about that, quote, he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity, meaning that he will fall to the other side, which is called evil. It follows that fear clings to both sides, the side of good and love, and the side of harsh judgment, as she is included in them. If fear is included in the side of goodness and love, it is complete love, as it should be, since fear is a commandment that contains all the commandments in the Torah, as it is the gate of faith, gate of the faith in the Creator. And according to the awakening of one's fear, the faith in the Creator's guidance is in him. Hence, the fear must not be forgotten in each and every commandment. It is especially so with the commandment of love, meaning that fear must be evoked along with it, since the fear is actually united in the commandment of love. For this reason, one must evoke the fear on both sides of the love, on love during mercy and success of one's ways, and on love during the harsh judgment. This is why he says that fear must adhere to love. And how does it adhere to it? He indicates, so we will not err in his words regarding what he said, that complete love is when one takes one's soul during the harsh judgment. And let us think that the meaning is that we should not be afraid of the harsh judgment whatsoever, but only cling to his love with devotion and without any fear. This is why he explains that the fear must adhere to love. And how does it adhere to it? Should fear also be evoked at that time, as one evokes the complete love? Okay, friends, I think we do have, we're not going to be able to make it through all the way, of course, to the second commandment. We're approaching our time, 30-minute mark. It has been a pleasure to open the text with all of you here. Let's try to hold on to our intentions and the gratitude that we have for being together, opening the Zohar together and letting it work on us. We will see you all at the same time next week.